What is going on, All-Terrain Nation? Whether it be two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or these mid-sized trucks, you guys know I love to drive. This is your All-Terrain Nation, and I'm your host, David Boyd. And that's right, today we are talking mid-sized trucks, and I'm going to do a comparison. I want to look at the all the top brands there, and I want to see their top dogs with the off-road package. That's right. And unfortunately, my buddy Tim is not here today. He's out playing golf. So if you guys see, next time you see Tim, you do #4 or something like that. You let him know that, hey, get your booty back over here to All Terrain Nation. Let's talk some mid-sized trucks. What's up, Fubar Medic? Am I on vacation? No, this is the new studio setup we're working on. You'll see this will all change as well. But we're redoing some stuff because you guys have been pretty generous with the support. The channel's growing, so it's allowing us to get a little nicer. If you'll hopefully notice, the camera work is it's a nicer camera. I'm using a real full DSLR camera now versus what we used to use, the little webcams. So hopefully the video will get a little cleaner, and we're eventually these mics will go away. We're going to put a mic above us so that you don't have to see this crap in our faces. And I think eventually we might just have some chairs back here, and when we do Bronco Talk or whatever we do here, you might see it look a little different. But anyways, this is Midsize Trucks, and I hope everyone has had a great weekend so far. Mine's been pretty good, and then I got some bad news that something in a couple weeks may not happen for me. So that's kind of a bummer because I was hoping to bring you guys something really fun, and this show would really like what I was going to bring you. So anyways, that we'll talk about that as if that does happen, or if it doesn't happen, we'll talk about that down the road. We got all the ones in here. Mr. Bug Guy, Fubar, Justin Zimmerman, Eric, Bob. What's going on, everybody? Once again, I hope you guys enjoy this show. I'm sorry that this show too has been kind of scattered. I'm a softball coach for my daughter's softball team. Sadly, Saturdays seem to get into that a little bit, so it's been screwing up schedule. But guess what? It's about over, so we'll have a normal Saturday schedule coming up. So, like I said, I want to talk about the midsize truck segment with the off-road trucks. Now, you guys, if you've been on the channel for a while, you guys know that me and Kelly do love off-road vehicles, and we like to when time allows, because our schedules have been getting so busy, we haven't been able to go off-roading as much as we like, but when time allows, we really do have a passion for that. And hopefully we do have a Ranger Raptor on order. Hopefully we get that before the first of the year, and we can actually take it out, go to Windrock Park with it, have some fun with it. Obviously that truck is made for a little bit of everything, and some of these that we're going to get into I think are a little bit more specific in the type of off-roading they can get into. But if you guys would smash that like button for me before we get into this, I would greatly appreciate that. And you have not yet, join on, subscribe to the channel. We reaching 10,000, we should hit about 11 to 12,000 subs this year. And believe it or not, that's what these manufacturers, you want to see us drive more things. That's what they want to see. They want to get us over 10,000, and then they're going to open up the floodgates for us a little bit. We do have this is not mid-size trucks, but we do have a new Silverado Bison coming. The ZR2 Bison will be in the driveway for a week. And I'm going on a trip to Las Vegas down, let's see, that's in July. So I was invited by Ford to go see something there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So let's get into today's topic, and that is the off-road trucks. I thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. We greatly appreciate that. Steve P, man, Steve, you last show, man, you were very, very generous, and we appreciate that. Wireless GoPros, all that's needed. All right. Anyway, so let me pull this stuff up here, and without my little producer Kelly, sometimes this gets a little more difficult. So here we go. So first off, I want to take a look at the old Toyota TRD Pro because well, they're still building it for now. And I think what we're going to see with the price tag of this thing is kind of what we're going to have to be interested in, where the market's shifting. Now, I've seen comment after comment after comment on my channel of people just upset that the way mid-size trucks, the price they're getting, and I, for one, I can't blame them. I cannot blame them at all. And Steve P, dude, you are always too kind to me. I greatly appreciate all the support. We do, guys, that we do. I don't like to sell myself too much, but we have a Patreon. I linked it. It's pinned to the top of this. If you would ever like to support the channel on a monthly, there's like up to like $2 and it goes on up from there. So I don't ask for a lot, but any support is good support. So thank you. But so back to the Toyota. So the 2023 Toyota TRD Pro. This is, as of now, this is their king daddy. This is the big boy. This is the one that this is sort of the benchmark, I think, of all off-road vehicles. The TRD, once the Toyota kind of found their sweet spot and introducing TRD stuff, people like it. And of course, Toyota, 200,000+ a year of this thing. I think globally, like the Hilux is over 500,000 a year they're selling of this truck. And of course, we do know the Hilux and the Tacoma are merging into the same platform. I mean, they'll have different looks, but they are merging into the same platform. But the big thing right now that stands out to me, I have not optioned anything, and I just want that price right there to sink in. $47,685. Now, if I had a pen and paper, I'd write this down. Somebody remind me about this price, because we're going to look from there. We're going to look at the Chevrolet ZR2 package and see kind of what you're getting. But with this, you're still getting that 3.5-liter V6 engine, making 278 horsepower at a very high 6,000 RPMs, by the way. Nobody likes to talk about that. Toyota, it's still, 278 horsepower. But yeah, it's 6,000 RPMs, which is, you could have added a turbo to that. That would have dropped that RPM down and boosted probably to 305, I bet. Anyways, 265 foot-pounds of torque, which is pretty weak considering where the lineup is right now. But that dinosaur engine is going away. We do know that. We're going to get that 2.4-liter turbo, the iForce, and then the iForce Max. You get the hybrid system coming up. But what's the price going to be like for this thing? Because is this truck going to, with the new generation coming, are we looking this? We're starting at 47,000 now. I have a feeling you're probably looking at 52 to 55 starting out. And fully optioned, you're probably looking at getting the 60s. Yeah, just like Jay Ray said there. That's what I was just saying, around the 60s for a midsize truck. And once again, people in my comments, they always fuss, man, the price of these things. And of course, we the consumers do not dictate that price. Well, I guess we might a little bit if we keep paying the expensive prices, but the federal regulations on these vehicles is tough. They got to have all the safety features, all this tech. People talk about how the trucks are getting heavier and heavier. Well, the problem is you got to have all these safety features in these vehicles, and well, it just kind of screws up everything. So with the next generation coming up, there's even more safety features. Of course, Toyota, they want to go out of their way. They want to make the thing flashy. And I want to kind of look in the interior real quick of this truck. Now, I did time in this truck last fall. We had the lime green version of this thing, and pretty nice. Definitely is a dinosaur when you look at a lot of stuff. They did refresh the center console here a little bit, but overall, it was okay. Drives fine. I won't say there's anything about that truck that I didn't dislike about driving it. Of course, Toyota, it's the quality of it's amazing. Fit and finish of everything. When we walked around it, everything looked great. But the automatic shifter I cannot stand. It's got this kind of weird Lego-y kind of deal to it that I don't like at all. Of course, here we got a manual transmission in that, which might be pretty fun in this vehicle. I know manual guy is so happy that Toyota continued to make that. But this is what the current TRD Pro looks like. Like I said, I didn't want to go too far with this, so this is just whatever the image comes up with it. Or I think it is. Let's go back to view gallery. No, that's just the basic Tacoma. I was gonna say I thought it was a little bit flashier than that. Let's see. There we go. Build our own. We'll go back to this. All right. So let's go. Let's just go to colors. Let's just pick one real quick. Next step, and let's go to summary. All right, so as is right now, and I didn't do anything to this thing. So this is still the manual 6-speed manual transmission, which everybody loves. $49,200, and that's with delivery, which is $1,300, which is some of the cheapest on delivery. I'm always amazed with Nissan and Toyota how their delivery costs are way cheaper than Ford and them. So it's like Ford's. I don't know if it's a added cost to the unions or what it might be, but you are saving about $300 there for delivery on this thing, but $49,000 for this basic TRD Pro. And this thing, after seeing the latest TRD Pro, looks pretty bland, really. What's up, Tundra Dude? Tundra Dude, I need to get you on the show, man. And if you had time now, we can jump you right in, because I am curious of your take of the market right now, because you obviously cover the the king of the creme de la creme trucks. But let's look from there. I want to go to over here. Here's the TRD Pro for the it's the whole lineup. They haven't adjusted their website just yet for everything, but obviously the truck is way more aggressive. I mean, it had to be. We knew it was going to be somewhat Tundra-like, and I'm the one of the few that actually like the Tundra from the get-go. The only thing I do not like about Tundra is the weak-ass tires they put on that thing, but I've told you guys many times that has to do with Toyota doesn't want dinged on the first 6 months. Sorry, cat trying to get into something he shouldn't. They don't want to be dinged with the the poor ride or the loud noise of a more aggressive tire. So Toyota always puts a weak tire on this thing. They know you're going right to the tire store. But now we have two. So the Trailhunter and TRD Pro, and it's kind of they're fine tuning. What do you want to do with your vehicle? Do you want to overland? Or are you looking for something a little more aggressive, maybe a little high speed desert runner? They've not really said that about TRD Pro, but they've sure advertised it enough. They've got the advertising in with showing it next to their Ivan Stewart. I believe it's Ivan Stewart driving that vehicle. That's what Esterthal said, anyways. They're showing it, kind of maybe taking on the Raptor a little bit. What's up, Dirk? The idea that Toyota is starting to fine tune this. I mean, they're already the best of the best when it comes to midsize trucks. And I don't get with me if you're, I'm a Chevy guy or I'm a Ford guy. I understand that, but sales, if you just look at sales, they're the best of the best right now. And everybody else still seems to be playing catch up. But they the Trailhunter, Toyota's known that they are the top dog for overlanding, and definitely Trailhunter is after that. And the name is interesting. I keep wanting to go to Trail Master for some reason, but it's Trailhunter. But the idea that they're giving you snorkel, I don't care for the sport bar rack on the back of it. I would ditch that. But you're not getting the goofy valence under there, so they know fuel economy on these are going to be hit a little harder than down the path here, where like the TRD off-road still has that big plastic thing, and it's 9, according to Tim, it's 9 screws, and that thing pops off, which you're going to see on every one of these things. You're going to see these things come off. They're going to pop that off there and get rid of it. But with Toyota kind of defining the segment here a little bit more, they're putting a lot of pressure on the next brands that we're going to talk about. They're saying, hey, that Toyota has the way to do this in mid-sized trucks. They can take a chance. And if it doesn't work out, they just we'll move on. It didn't hurt sales really. If we look at GM, the GM twins, if you look at what Ford's doing, of course, Nissan just seems to be hanging on with what they're doing. They can't. There's such a fine margin of error with what they're doing. They cannot take chances like what Toyota's doing with a Trailhunter version. Now, Nissan, I reported a long time ago that they wanted to do like their Warrior concept in the Frontier version. And I think they need to do that. I think Nissan came out of the pack, and while I'm talking about them, let's just bring them up here right now. So this is the Pro 4X. This is their most off-road package that you can get with this thing. And I've been a big Nissan fan for years because I kind of like underdogs. And of course, Nissan, I'm in Middle Tennessee. Nissan's been huge for Middle Tennessee. The Smyrna manufacturing plant here, which I did work at for a short time, built some of these trucks. But I'm always proud what they've done. They've given a lot of people jobs around the community. So, and then we have their engine plant in Decker, Tennessee, which is only about 20 minutes from me here. But they need to step it up with their off-road package. Now, if you look at the MSRP of this truck, $40,000, $40,235, you're like, okay, well, that's not too bad. But once you get inside the vehicle, it's like a mini Titan. And I'd said for years, I was hoping they did not go down this route of they can't sell Titans. So the last thing you would like to do is shape your vehicle like you're the big dog that you can't sell. And I guess if you look at Toyota, it might be sort of the same way. As Tundra sells okay, but Tacoma's been the bread and butter for that. So it's odd that both brands have sort of did miniature versions of this. But the Frontier is, to me, it's a good looking vehicle. Once again, they go down that path of you're going to get a weak ass tire. You're not going to get a lot of fun with that. But they do have a couple good colors here. The blue looks great. But they've never went full crazy. Now it looks like did we lose some colors? Okay, scared me there. I thought they did away with some of the colors. Now this one's called Red Alert, and you have their normal. This maroon, guys, I love this. I tested this truck out in this color. If if you want to see that video, I believe it's still in our handpick category. But it's got a rear locker in it, just like the Toyota. Toyota only does a rear locker in this thing. It does have no crawl control features, which is kind of the bummer to Nissan, but it's also a plus. If you want a simple off-road truck, this one might be for you because it does what it does. It's still not a manual transfer case in the thing, which I miss so much, but it's a simple dial. That's your crawl control feature. Past that, you get a locker. After that, you're kind of shit out of luck, man. Like it is what it is. But it's a good, capable vehicle. I've owned several Frontiers in the past. I've had my last Pro 4X was a 2012 Pro 4X, which I loved. I beat the piss out of that thing. It never broke down. Nissan, I will say their quality is up to Toyota. I think Esther Thal talked about that last week just a little bit, that they might have had some early issues with some transmissions in that last generation. I think 05, 06, 07, they had some coolant getting into the radiators, which they fixed that right away. And it seemed to happen always around 100,000 miles too. So, but they fixed that problem, and their quality, man, is been pretty great. I watch the forums on people, what they're fussing about. It's always little nitpicky things. But as far as the engine quality, that engine, the 3.8, is pretty spunky. I would like to see them in their off-road package do a more aggressive exhaust on it. I think there's little things that the Nissan brand could do and make themselves stand out. If a V6 is never going to sound aggressive, but guess what? That 4-cylinder that Toyota put in their vehicle is never going to sound aggressive either. And they're going to pipe in fake rumblies in that thing. So, but I think this is a pretty honest package. And once again, it's probably going to be cheaper. It already looks like to be nearly $10,000 cheaper than what Toyota is doing. And of course, you're not going to get all the same features. But let's look interior real quick. Now, interior wise, nothing crazy. Definitely, we've seen the steering wheel. If you've ever seen a Nissan Titan, that steering wheel. It looks just like their refresh of that. The gauges are great. Their infotainment center is great. The only thing I can ever ding Nissan about is their rear view camera. It looks garbage. It's the current Toyota looks bad, but you would think this is a 2023 truck that you would get something a little nicer. And even when I had a couple weeks ago, we had that Nissan Z, the 23Z. The best part of that thing was driving, the fun experience. All the quality was nice. You put it in reverse to go back up, and it's this awful camera. So I wish Nissan would step it up with that. But interior wise, with the Pro 4X, you're getting a lot of nice stitching, a lot of soft materials. The seats, you can't really see too much. I don't know if they have. No, it looks like the only seat picture we can get. But nice design in the seats, but they kind of leave it out in the back of the vehicle. Nissan is one of those that just sort of they make the front exciting, and then in the rear, it's just kind of like, well, we gave you something, right? Let's see. Yes. Jay Ray says Nissan needs interior refresh ASAP. And what's bad is it's already 2 years old, this truck is, and we're already saying that. And that just shows that Nissan, and they've had a problem with it. And once again, I'm not beating up Nissan. I'm tough love with Nissan because I love this company. Is they need a quick refresh. They need by 25. If this thing is not refreshed, they're dead. The truck will be dead in the water. Now, people will always buy it because it's a more affordable vehicle. But the people that are looking at your top dogs, your Toyotas, your Fords, your Chevrolets, or GMCs, they're never going to give this truck an honest chance because it's going to look old. So the 9-inch display in this thing, I actually like. I'm the Ranger that I'll get is what is it? Has like a 12.5, something like that. The display. I don't need half the truck to be an LCD screen anymore. I don't need a plasma TV in this thing. I'm not going to play video games in my front seat. And of course, I understand they're wanting to take tech. Everything needs to operate through that little system. It's basically the computer system for all your console. But I like the fact that Nissan gives you real knobs. There's actual buttons there that they're honest buttons. They go right to it. Their Connect, I forget what they call their Connect system. It works fast. It's great. Once again, the only thing I can kind of ding about them is their interior. But let's look at the summary real quick. So 40,634. No, Nissan, you're not getting my information. Probably is the cheapest out of all of them that you're going to find with monthly payment. Now, this is 60 months, 6.49 APR, man. I'm scared with in a couple of weeks we're going to have to pick up a Mustang. I'm scared at what the rate's going to be on that car. But that's the Nissan brand. And overall, I'm curious, would you ever consider that brand? Out of all the midsize trucks and with everything's new now. Are they still on your list of like, yeah, I would go check them out? And I'm also curious is out of all of these trucks we're going to talk about here, would you I know everybody can be brand loyal. Like I said, I love the underdog of Nissan, but right now that truck probably wouldn't be on my to-do list out of what we're seeing in the market. But would you give all these trucks a honest shot? Are you the type of person that would go and test drive all these trucks? Because I know brand loyalty matters. People love to talk, I'm a Chevy guy, and you're going to see some fun stuff. I'm buying a bunch of hats for some reason. You'll see down the road. But are you brand loyal to that, or are you right now? Are you like, no, I want the truck that fits my needs the best? Now, interior wise, they're all going to be relatively cab wise, relatively the same. So I wouldn't say nothing's bigger than the other. Might be a little bit of a roof difference right now. Toyota, that roof sits so low with the 23s, but we know they're fixing that problem. But what's up, Sam Wolf? Let's see. But next up, I want to talk about is the old GMC. That is right. This is the AT4X. Now, this thing, I will say, if you compare the Pro 4X, what we just saw, to this, you're like, holy hell, this thing is like night and day different. Way more aggressive. The twins really came out swinging. I think I prefer the GMC, the look of the GMC a little bit more, but it's pretty close. It might be like 51% to 49%. I think GMC come out running with the look of it. It's bold. All the design traits of this thing looks great. Once again, let's go right back to the old daddy. Let me let's see. I can't get a bigger picture of that. But this thing is starting to look bland suddenly. The Nissan is when you go right to this. Now, roughly the same colors of that. But this truck looks great. But I've said it time and time again. The only thing that holds me back with I would have tried to purchase one of these for the channel was that engine. The 4-cylinder engine. Now, Esterthal has talked about, he said, hey, it's pretty peppy. The thing will go. And I don't doubt him on it because I haven't got to do a first drive of this vehicle yet. Hopefully, I seem to be building a relationship with GM. So hopefully, maybe down the road, I can get one of these in the driveway for a long-term tester. But I think the engine, 310 horsepower in that little thing is okay. With the GMC, Esterthal's talked about this, that you get the high output engines on all of them. So, you don't have to worry about, do I get the tuned one or not? They know the interior of this truck is going to be outstanding. I got to get in the AT4 at the Chicago Auto Show this year. I did a video on that, pretty popular video on the channel as well. But the interior that GMC is doing is pretty freaking amazing. I have to say that if I was to compare this to the Ford Ranger right now, this wins out. And the Ford Ranger, I just did the first walk arounds. The Ford Ranger, the Lariat package of that thing is pretty nice. And there may be a person that doesn't like wild and crazy, a little bit more conservative with the way they want their vehicles to look. And maybe the Ranger appeals to you on that. But I like aggressive looking vehicles. And this right here is pretty freaking aggressive. Now, problem is with the AT4X, it's a late availability. So which means we're probably not going to see that till December, I would say, is when they start pumping those things out. And I know a lot of people have been ordering these things. I know with the ZR2 side, they've been delaying the ZR2s, which we'll get into just a little bit. But overall, this truck looks fantastic. So let's get into the interior. I want to look at that a little bit. The interior of this truck, I kid you not, is great. Now, some of the white of this, I don't know that it's going to stay white. Pickup trucks are still pickup trucks, and people will, whether it be you buy this new or down the road in the secondary market, this is going to start to show a little bit of wear. Of course, it's a higher end vehicle. You got to have a plush features for the clientele they're looking to buy this vehicle. But overall, they really brought it. They didn't just go plain. A lot of soft touch here. The dash, I believe, is still plastic up here, if I remember right. But the steering wheel, big and beefy. I like how if you look in the steering wheel, I like how the brakes of it, they all mimic right in here. It just looks together. Now, the one bummer about GMC is they want to go to this, or GM in general as a brand, they want to go to this, you pay per feature you want. They want to do the subscription thing, which I think they're going to take enough heat down the road. Once those vehicles really start getting out there, especially in the little trucks, there's nobody I think or is going to own a Chevrolet or a GMC, a lower trim GMC, that's going to want to pay to have your street signs up there and the Google stuff. But it is what it is with that. So that would be one thing that would deter me from this truck, is knowing that there's a subscription to that. That would bum me out. Now, me and Kelly pointed this out at Chicago Auto Show. One thing that, and I keep dinging them for it, and I'm going to continue to ding them for it. And I would probably personally, if I had this vehicle, I would try to PPF this right here, if you could. I'm sure there's some aftermarket company that does pre-cut stuff like that might do it, because it doesn't show well in this picture, but this is like a piano finish of this vehicle. And once again, this stuff, blue jeans, I swear you will start staining this. You're going to rub against that, but I do love the interior, by the way. I wish they would have just given us maybe a darker gray version of this, but it's bold and it's standing out. The red accents that they've done around this plays with the GMC real well. These physical buttons up here I love them. They click. They're just heavy. They don't feel chintzy. They don't feel like just cheap. And a lot of times, some of the older factory stuff always felt just like just didn't feel solid. Just was like, I don't know, cheap. But now I think they're going into that. We need to feel more rugged. But the screen in this thing, I will say, after sitting in it, the layout of it's comfortable. This bump up here, now I'm 5'8", so I'm not the tallest guy, and I don't remember if I had the seating position exactly the way I liked it, but I have noticed this with the full size GMC stuff too. It is somewhat in my line of sight. So if you're a shorter guy, you may sit in this truck. Really, really check this truck out before you dump a big deposit down on one to order one. I would definitely make sure your GMC dealer has one in the showroom that you can kind of sit in. But overall, the interior of this thing is nice. All the materials, even they carry all the design features into the back, which is a big deal. I'm telling you. Let's hit more views here. Let's see. Yes, see how they've done all the white and stuff in the back? That's something, like I was saying earlier with Nissan, they don't really do. And if I'm paying for I want the ultimate off-road package vehicle, I don't know that I'm going to want to buy like the Nissan, because they don't really carry the theme of the vehicle into the back of the seats. Now, there's a little bit of it with the Nissan, but they didn't go full, hey, what we're doing in the front, we're doing in the rear. But overall, though, you see, you get the subwoofer, I believe, is up in the dash there. I haven't heard the sound system on this thing, but when I'm on the trails, I do like to have some good tunes playing. Overall, though, this thing is a beast. And price-wise, let's go to summary, because I haven't done anything to this vehicle, I think, other than maybe paint. Let me make sure. I think they charge for every color. Now let's just do Summit White, because they don't charge for that, and go summary. So we'll click that, and we are looking at $56,000 for this thing. $56,000. Now, great interior, so you're going to pay for it. You're paying for GMC. It's a little bit more of a luxury brand. I comment this all the time. I'm amazed how they flipped that brand from being a very contractor brand to now it's a very high-end luxury brand. But $56,900, and let's see, and okay, that's with destination, which is $1,500. Once again, Toyota is a lot cheaper. Nissan is a lot cheaper on that. But $56,000 for GMC's version of their ultimate, Canyon AT4X. Where are you guys at with that? Quite a bit. We start looking at that Nissan at $40,000. Of course, you're getting front and rear lockers with this thing, something that Nissan and Toyota is not going to offer. You will get some crawl control features with this, but still, you're getting full skids on this thing. That I will say, from the get-go, it looks like it's ready to go play. I've never been a fan of GM's, the way they do their rock sliders, but I will say they're very purpose-built. They look like they would protect the side of it. I just like a kick out. You guys seen generally what I buy from White Knuckle. They've got a nice kick out to keep you away from trees. But I will say tow hooks, this bottom steel here looks great. It's an aggressive looking truck, and it's exactly, especially if you want the ultimate off-road truck, but you're probably never going to go prove what it can do. Some people just want to buy the badass truck and just keep in their driveway. No shame in that, nothing at all. But I think this thing is a winner. But I think that right there, $56,000 is a pretty penny to pay. Now, we're looking at Ranger Raptor, which is I think in a little bit different class of vehicle than what this one is, and it's getting into that price as well. But I've made some concessions in my brain to justify it. So speaking of that, let's go over to Ford and let's look at that Ranger Raptor now versus what we just seen here. The aggressive look of that thing right there. You go to Ranger. Even the Raptor it's not as aggressive. And I was kind of hoping that the US spec version might have gotten a little bit wider fenders, just a little more out there. But they don't need to. People who want this vehicle right here, they know what Raptor stands for. They know it's going to be pretty fast. It's going to be aggressive. You can get the up to 33-inch tires, which is kind of a bummer because the Bison versions that you'll eventually see a Bison version of that AT4X as well. They're going to get 35s, which is it's still like a small 34, 4, 34, 5, something like that, but they call it a 35. But it was something that we were hoping to see. But when we were on the shuttle going to Ford's press release of the Ranger and Ranger Raptor, we were all of us journalists were talking to each other about, what do you expect to happen with the Ranger? And everything I've seen of all the spy photos, the videos I've done on that, my connection to that, nobody would mention 35. So I told a pretty high-end journalist that he goes, oh, it's going to get 35s, and it's going to get this and that. And, oh, well, MAP already builds, Michigan Assembly Plant already builds the Bronco Raptor, and it's getting 37. So why would they not, do that? And the poor guy had to eat crow when it came time to the reveal of this truck, because people brought that up real quick. Hey, 35s on this thing? And they're like, no. If you put a 35-inch tire under this thing, you're going to lose, almost 2 inches of up travel. So they would rather, and this vehicle's made for high-speed desert running. They want all the travel they can get. So they're not, in Ford's mind, they don't think it needs that. Now, if we do see the Bison take off in sales, which I don't know that that'll happen, but if you were to see the GMC Bison do something that kind of puts a dent in Ford's idea what the sales are going to be on this vehicle, they might change their tune on that and retune the suspension for that. But ultimately, this is a global truck now, and a lot of global markets will not allow a 35-inch tire. I know Australia, some of the I believe it's provinces, I'm not sure what they call their little individual like state like places, but some of those are so aggressive with tires, like they just don't allow that stuff. And there's been people that live in different areas just traveling through, and their officers are so aggressive that they will write them up and park those vehicles just for traveling through their areas. So you better believe Ford knows, hey, this is a global truck. We're just going to make one kind of version of it. But ultimately, this truck is pretty rad. You guys know I've done time in this vehicle. I'm hoping to get invited to something down the road where they start letting journalists drive this vehicle. I've ordered this vehicle, so I'm going to probably talk pretty well about this thing right now. But I don't want to go crazy on the colors, so let's just go right back to white. Now the shelter green metallic, there is no upcharge with it, but I show you guys that color all the time because I'm a big fan of it. But right there, white Ranger, the thing you're getting with this versus the Chevrolet is a lot of horsepower. 405 horsepower. What was it? 430 roughly torque in that thing. Now the Chevrolet is going to get, and the GM's going to get a lot of torque because of the turbo, but the horsepower is limited to 310. And it's kind of a bummer to me because I thought Chevrolet might, especially with the Bison that was coming up, I thought they might kind of push it a little bit. They don't have to go to 400 horsepower, but I thought if they do 420, if they bumped it up 20 more horsepower, it would make it look like you're getting something more special with the Bison package. But unfortunately, you're not. But I don't want to push anything on this. I just want to go down to the what this truck is going to cost us. Interior wise of this thing, I'm not sure why it's doing that. Let's see. Let's go there. There we go. Interior wise of this thing, it's pretty rad. I like it. They're definitely playing in their Ford Performance colors with it, but it's not too crazy. The seats are nuts. I will say that. And only Toyota, I think, rivals Ford with the seats that they put in this thing. But it's pretty mellow. You don't see all like with the GMC. This would have been a different color. This is like a snakeskin feel to this trim piece here, and it blends all the way through the door, which I noticed and I like. You do get a couple of things. You get a little pocket here. I believe there's the button for it. You get the secondary glove box along with the other one. I talked about earlier about how I'm not big. I don't need a big TV in this. Ford has done well with integrating this where it's not sticking up in your line of sight. So you're getting that big monitor there. You still get physical buttons, which especially in an off-road truck, if you want the ultimate off-road truck, you're trying to focus on the trails. You don't want to have to go through your touch screen to turn your lockers on or all that, but I think you still do on this. But some of the brands, you got a push button, and I'm curious, will Toyota do that? I don't recall Esterthal or anybody that was in Hawaii on that reveal where the locker switches were for that. But I like the fact that you got all your air conditioning, all your buttons here. They're actual physical buttons. So if you're trying to pay attention to the drive, you just kind of sense once you know your vehicle, you push and it's where buttons to push there. But ultimately this thing is badass. The one thing they've done with this that none of the other brands are doing, that when we don't know if Toyota just yet, you get the active exhaust on this thing, and it is a V6 twin turbo V6, so it still doesn't sound like a V8, but you do get a little bit of the rumbles to this thing. And I think Ford with the the EcoBoost V6 they put in the big Ranger Raptor or the big F150 Raptor, they took a lot of heat early on about, hey, this thing doesn't sound good. And so when they refreshed it to their next generation, they did what they call their trombone system or something. But it doesn't sound bad. I told Kelly I thought it sounded a lot like our Bronco, the way I put the AWE exhaust on it, and I think it sounds a lot like it. Of course, this one here is active, so you can turn that off. You're going through the neighborhood early in the morning, you don't want to wake your neighbors up, or you want to piss your neighbors off, you just turn that exhaust on and just rip through there. I actually have some people that like to do that through my neighborhood every once in a while. Anyways, the interior of this thing, once again, nothing crazy. Let's see here. Let's go down, I guess, down to the summary. So if you did nothing to this vehicle, including white paint, you're going to get $56,960 in this truck, which is pretty close to obviously the AT4X by the GMC. But it's so different. And I'm curious what you guys think. Is the way I see it, if I have a chance over V6 and I'm not brand loyal, twin turbo V6 or a single turbo 4-cylinder, I'm probably going twin turbo V6 that makes 400 horsepower. Now, is there a reliability issue with that? I don't know on this engine. Ford's used this engine for quite a while, so it's nothing, I haven't heard any guys too bad in the Bronco Raptors fussing too bad. I think there was a couple things early on, but overall, I think it's a pretty rock solid platform for Ford. But $56,000, I believe mine is at I believe mine was at 57. Let me let's go over to All Terrain Nation real quick, because I keep a pretty good build price of that. So yes, so let's do it right there. So yes, here's on our website. Mine came out to 57,710, but I believe that's changed now because I took the bed liner off, which I would recommend doing on any of these vehicles. Do not right now order a bed liner if you want to be one of the first ones to get it, because it will delay your vehicle. TJ Miller says, I sat in a Ranger Raptor this weekend. It was really nice, and the seats are amazing. So, TJ, did you go to the Carlisle event? I know they had one or two Raptors there. Of course, they had the Mustangs and stuff there as well. Let's see. Sam Wolf says, in my opinion, 35-inch tires are overrated. 33s can do just fine. Yes. In most scenarios, 35s, I won't say they're overrated, because if you're going out doing some fun trails, you would notice the clearance difference, but you also, to get the same thrill that you had with 33s, you're amping everything up to a higher level. So depends on what you want to do with that vehicle. So but overall, as we get back to the top of this thing here, so we can look at it one last time, that is the Ranger Raptor. And as of right now, I don't know who rivals it, because we still don't have all the details with the TRD Pro with the Toyota. But I will say, I wouldn't say the Frontier comes close, obviously. The GMC AT4X is pretty close, because you are getting front rear lockers with that, which is nice. But you're still down with horsepower. The interior could be a toss-up. It just depends on what you like. Do you like the Ford interior better than you like the GMC? But it is what it is. Next up, though, we got to talk about this bad boy. if we're talking about the GM twins, got to talk about the ZR2. Now, I know a lot of people that watch my channel have ordered ZR2s, and trust me, when I did a video a couple weeks ago talking about the delays, I still get a lot of comments about people upset that their vehicle's been delayed. And I don't know what's the big delay is, because even the normal Colorado had I think it was about a month delay from where it was supposed to start. GM's having some production issues, it seems like. But let me look through here real quick. Let's see. Sam says Nissan Frontier, I think it's still a competitor in style. The interior is okay, in my opinion. I don't like the look of the Colorado, and I think the styling goes to Ranger or Tacoma right now. All right. Let's see else real quick. Let's see. Mr. Denton said, looked at the 2023 GMC Canyon Elevation yesterday, and Elevation is a pretty nice package. For $45K, I think it was supposed to be, do not get physical light turn buttons, and the damn thing has a manual sliding rear glass window. It's also narrow into the driver's seat for a bigger person. I haven't, I mean, I'm trying to remember the AT4 that I sat in. I don't remember it being uncomfortable. I'm not skinny like I used to be. And I don't, I don't remember Kelly fussing too much about it. It might be. I've got to do some more. I've got to do some time in that vehicle to really get a feel for it. But yes, the no light buttons have pissed a lot of people off, but I've thought about that. So Esther Thal broke that news when he got to do the first drive of the Colorados, and people started noticing it. And I know Andre over at TFL noticed it. But I had to start thinking once they started kind of fussing about it, because when you go to these press events, you're kind of looking for things to talk about, basically, not to just be negative, but you're just looking for things to talk about, because you could just go to one of these things and go, look, new colors this year. It's got 4 wheels. It's a truck. Like, you could be that bland with it. So you got to try to find some things about it. But so when they brought that up, I was sitting here thinking about that. And I started when I would get in our Bronco. Bronco has the automatic lights that pop on. And at no point do I ever I'm not ever like, man, I wish I could turn the lights on or off from a simple switch. Now, Kelly says her knees will bump into that button and accidentally turn it off or on occasionally. I've never done that, and I've heard other people talk about that with the Bronco. And I believe the Ford Ranger will be in the similar position. But I've never, the only time I've ever wanted to turn the lights off, we were at our local Sonic, and we're pulling through the little stalls, and there's somebody in front of me eating, and I want to turn it off so I'm not blinding them. But past that, it doesn't bother me personally, but I know if it's something that people don't like change. And so I totally get that. Mr. says the AT4X has the best interior so far. Jay says, not brand loyal, just want the best bang for my buck, especially at today's prices and interest rates. Currently, no interest in Frontier after seeing the other new midsize trucks, which that's a bummer for Nissan, man, that nobody is that they're not going to get first looks now. Bronco 78 Adventure says, I'm not a Chevy guy, but I've seen the new Colorado Bison at Home Depot the other day, and it's a good looking truck. Yeah, no, it is a very good looking truck. And finally, let's see. Steve P says, I agree on the engine. Too small for the price and competition. And one last one. Those 23 Ranger trimmer trucks have been 46 to 47 range. If you get the Fox shocks versus paying over 50 to 55K for the Chevy ZR2 or the Toyota Tacoma TRD Pros, you can to get the Het Fix shock suspension. No, and definitely there's some of these things you can buy. Like, I think you could get the Trail Boss for Chevrolet, and if you want to upgrade it a little bit, you can do that. And there's going to be a way to install the front locker out of this if you want to, especially once you get some of these salvageable. There's always the DIY guy out there figuring out a way to build his version of a cheaper version of this. So there's always ways to do that. So now Chevrolet, this is the brand. This is this is the Halo brand of GM is Chevrolet. And the ZR2. Now, I when this thing came out, I love the looks of this truck. I do. Once again, I'm back and forth with the GMC versus this. I do like the grill's a little different in this truck. I do like that the lights look aggressive. It's got that, it's almost has like a unibrow. if you think about it, like the way the lights are, it's almost unibrow like, but it looks good. These fake air vents are kind of silly to me. I do like that it makes the truck look aggressive, but I don't, maybe you could have actually done something for cooling in that. I don't know. Once again, you're going to see the same rock rails in this truck, same tires in this truck. Overall, it's going to be basically the same truck as the GMC, is what it is. But you get, all the colors same. And if you look at the GMC, let's go back here real quick. Let's see. Exterior. Look, it's damn near the same site even. Like they didn't even go out of their way to really break up the websites to even make them look much different. But colors, GM does give you some colors, and that's something that we didn't talk about much with the Ford Ranger Raptor is they feel like they needed one color that just was exciting. Obviously GM has a relatively same color as what the Ford is going to offer. So that they're calling it Harvest Bronze Metallic, but this Nitro Yellow Metallic, I don't know that I want it. I've seen Andre talk about it on TFL with his that he bought. I don't think he really likes the color from what I can gather. But at least Chevrolet went out and tried something. It's a youthful color. They want something exciting. And their red, this red, when you see it in person, it's a deep red. It looks great. Something, go back to Ranger. I'm not a fan of this hot pepper red metallic. It's got an orangish hue to it. It kind of shifts in light a little bit. With Ford, I like their rapid reds a lot. I just feel like all their colors are kind of bland, where some of the other brands, even look at Nissan. Let's go back up to the exterior. I mean, even they've got like a couple fun colors, like the bright red. They've got this is more of a maroon. They've got some blues. They've even went with the kind of khaki looking colors. But Ford, I don't know, man. Their palette right now is all grays. I can't figure that one out. But back to this truck. So this is same engine as the GM, 310 horsepower, I forget what the torque is of this thing. It's relatively the same as the Raptor. Pretty good looking vehicle. Once again, you're going to get to look at the skids. It's very off-road. It's built being the top dog of their off-road right now. We still don't have they've released Bison, but we can't talk about Bison because I don't know any pricing details or will they do any special colors for Bison. But right now, you can get a lot with the vehicle. They even break up the hood there. Look at the hood. It's got some nice colors to it. And let's see here. But let's go back to gotta go back to the Summit White because we don't want to upcharge. I don't want this vehicle looking like it's more expensive than the other. But so as is right now, let's go to summary. Leave it alone. Oh, I did not interior. Sorry, I left out on this one. The interior of this thing, clearly to me personally, I think the GMC wins out. I like the round air vents on this. I think they look good, and for some reason, I like round air vents. I don't know. They always feel like I can get the cool air right where I want it, or the heat right where I want it. But the kind of military print in here, the digital camo kind of plays in with the seats. The green stitching, which is kind of crazy. I don't know how the green stitching sort of plays into the whole deal. I think they could have went with a red or something like that, to match the two of the ZR2. The layout is if you've seen the GMC, you've seen this. Like it's really no different. The same piano finish that I think is going to get worn, all scratched up right there. Is through this. The buttons are all exactly the same. It's other than it's GM's way of giving us like a slightly different design, cheaper. There is really no difference between this and the AT4X at all. It's what do you want to pay? And if you look at it right now, we go to the summary. You're at $48,000. What was it? $56,000 before? Oh, let's see. All right, we're at $48,295 for that truck. Yes, I get it. And obviously, clearly, the ZR2 is the more affordable package of this. And if you have to look at ZR2 now versus what you're going to get with the Raptor, it's a lot cheaper. It looks like more of okay, I can get front and rear lockers. This thing's going to be pretty beefy. It's still going to get the fairly big tires on it. maybe I play in that game versus going to the Raptor, what their prices are going to want for Raptor. The only thing I can say for Raptor is it's going to be a harder to get vehicle, so it's going to hold its value a little bit better. Ford this year only wants to make 3,000 of them in total. Next year, I think it's up to 4,000, but it's always Raptor for Ford has always been a hard to get vehicle, high end, hard to get. And I think that's where it might be a little bit more desirable. You can always wrap a vehicle if you want to change the color of it. But I do like that Chevrolet has given us a little bit more options with that. 8-speed automatic transmission is thing, the 11.3 radio, this 2.7 turbo engine making 310 horsepower. And it is what it is. I feel like if I have to stack them up as right now, clearly I think Nissan is at the bottom. And, I guess we could talk about, it doesn't get really put in this category, but there is the Jeep Gladiator. The Mojave kind of plays in this, but Mojave, the Gladiator to me is like a Swiss Army knife of vehicles. It kind of does a little of everything. So I hate to put it in the midsize, completely in the midsize segment here. But overall, I think there's a lot of value in this one versus what we're about to see, which is right here. Maybe. Let's go to overview. No, I don't want that one. There it is. Man, can't find my trucks. The TRD Pro. Now, little is known about this thing other than the fact that you're only getting a rear-wheel drive locker in this thing. You're not going to get a front locker in it. It's paint finishes. We don't know exactly how many cool colors we're going to see. You're going to see the solar octane, which I like a lot. And I think with the solar octane, you put some aggressive tires on it, and this thing's going to look badass. Do they do the kind of tuxedoed, the black top with, is that going to be something that's just on TRD Pro? Maybe. I don't know if it's going to be some option they offer, but I think even with the black roof of that truck would look great. I think ultimately Toyota came out of the gate with the most aggressive looking truck. Now, I would put the GMC up there with it, but I think they've just, the body lines of this thing, the wide fenders of the TRD Pro look great. In the Hawaiian reveal, it's gloss. This plastic is gloss, so I'm hoping they do something that looks a little bit more durable. I don't know if that was just for the show of it. So it looks like the Trailhunter has the more durable looking kind of matted look to it. But TRD Pro, Toyota said, hey, we don't need a front locker. We think our crawl control system will manage without a front locker, which yes, but I don't like a computer telling me exactly. I don't want to have to dial something in. If I need front locker, because a lot of times if I'm rock crawling, I don't need the rear locker on. I just need to get the front wheels up and the rear wheel will take care of itself. And I just need that both wheels spinning at the same time. Toyota, I'm sure they're going to, with their crawl control feature, will have a simulated locker but I just want to know. I want the confidence of it. So I would ding them on that. But Toyota, clearly, they sell over 200,000 a year. They know their audience. So who am I to say that one is better than the other? 326 horsepower and that whopping 465. That's class leading 465 foot-pounds of torque. Now, we do not know the RPM, the range that it's at to get these numbers. But I will say after doing time in the Tundra with the iMax, iForce Max system in it, it'll get up and go. So I have no reason to believe that this TRD Pro will not be aggressive and fun to drive, take off great. Once again, though, the 4-cylinder, I don't know why it bothers me in the Chevrolet, but doesn't necessarily bother me in Toyota. I don't know if it's a quality issue that over, when I was a kid in the 80s, the big three V6s and 4-cylinders weren't always the best. So I don't know if it's just something about that with 4-cylinders that always makes me go, I don't know, will the quality hold up there? But I do lean towards the Toyota for quality with the 2.4 liter. Plus, they've been using this motor for quite a while. It's in many of their vehicles. So, and I don't know that it's really they're changing much about it. So you do get the TRD tuned 2.5-inch Fox internal bypass reservoirs, piggyback remote style reservoirs. The seats, the crazy seats that you get in this thing, which is I don't know if that's standard. I would like to think that it's probably standard in a TRD Pro, but maybe it's an option. Usually the imports don't really give you many options. You get what they offer and that's it. Color choice is about all you can get. But this thing went nuts. They went nuts with this vehicle. Once again, Toyota can take a swing, and if it doesn't work out, they can pull the reins back a little bit. But where are you at with this one? I mean, I think it looks great. Once again, needs aggressive tire. Or do you lean to? We kind of got to talk about the Trail Hunter a little bit. Do you lean to more of that you want to go out for a week at a time, and you need that longer bed option? Do you want the capability that it's going to have, the snorkel and things like that? I know Estrathal's looking like he likes the Trail Hunter over the Pro. I think I'm leaning more towards TRD Pro, and I would like to, honestly, what I'd like to do is have the Raptor for about 6 months, jump into the TRD Pro so I can have a back-to-back impressions of the vehicle and do a long-term drive with them. I don't know if it's going to work out that way. But I don't know. I think I like the TRD Pro. I don't like these sport racks. I know what it's for because everybody wants to put a light bar up there. I'm not big into that. Of course, you do get ARB parts on this vehicle. There's some front and rear bumpers they're doing. Ultimately, though, it's pretty badass. But do you lean down here? Is the TRD off-road, do you think that's going to be 47 to 50? Do you think that's where the sweet spot is for the ultimate off-road truck? Because, it's still going to have the same crawl control features. It's a little bit more mellowed down. You're getting the Bilstein monotube shocks with remote reservoirs, which you can always put more aggressive. Icon and all these aftermarket companies are just itching to get one of their hands on one of these so they can already have their ultimate lifts built up on one of these things. So maybe down here is where especially if you want the manual transmission, maybe down here is the ultimate off-road vehicle in this feature. You're, like I said, still get crawl control features down here. So it is what it is, guys. I'm curious where you're at with this. I want to go through a couple of your comments before we break this one down. I think that the midsize truck market right now is the best truck market. I think full size have gotten so nuts. They're all chasing the towing capabilities. They're all chasing, the high horsepower. It seems to be a measuring competition, if you know what I mean. My fish is bigger than yours. With the full size, this is, to me, seems to be more of the capability range. It's more of the what I would use this truck for. I would take this truck camping, or I would my family would probably fit. I'm just a wife and one kid at home right now, so I don't need the idea of, my daughter doesn't need a lounge chair out there in the back seat. I think she'd be capable in one of these a little bit better for my lifestyle. And there is the whole garageability thing of this. I know that was a big thing Toyota wanted to talk about, the garageability of these, but it is somewhat true that I don't know that I could get a full-size truck in my garage. Well, right now, I can't get anything in my garage because it's so full of memories that we keep moving around from house to house. But I do think though that the smaller trucks is where it's at for me. So let's go through some of your comments, and I am curious, and hopefully we'll have Tim back next week. So if you guys missed Tim over there, he will be back. Let's see. Kev says TRD off-road for the win. I think so too, man. I think that might be the obviously I always want to go with the biggest and baddest truck I can get, but definitely there Toyota, there's a lot of in the off-road package. There's a lot of value there. And I still think you're going to get a pretty aggressive interior in this truck as well. Maybe not the crazy seats, but I think you'll still get a pretty aggressive interior. Let's see. TJ Miller says, haven't watched it yet, but I heard the 2.7 Chevy doesn't do too well. I think towing. So the Chevy's rated at 7,700 pounds, which is goofy. I think they threw their nuts out there a little bit with that one. Now they do test these vehicles, obviously, but I would never want to tow 7,700 pounds in a vehicle like this ever. For one, I think that little 4-cylinder is underpowered for that kind of weight. I think about any of these would be underpowered for that kind of weight. So, and I know they did the Ike Gauntlet and they were coming back up. I did watch their video on that where they were coming back up with Mr. Truck and they got in traffic and it kind of screwed their deal up. But I don't know, these trucks are trying to get a lot of aluminum panels, trying to lighten them up, but I just would never tow with that. I think the Ranger Raptor's at what, 5 to 5,500 somewhere in there, and that's about all I'd want to tow anyways. A nice camper, you can tow a nice size camper around 55, $6,000. So I think Chevy went a little crazy with their tow ratings on that. Let's see. Steve P says Toyota has a great reputation for quality and durability. It looks good. Not sure I would consider if the price is close to the GMC or Ranger. Definitely, Steve, if you ever, especially once vehicles, we're starting to see vehicles on the lot again where you can kind of go kick the tires around. These get on the lot, definitely go check them out. I mean, go look at them. Now, generally the nicer ZR2s are probably going to be in the showroom, but go sit in it. I'm telling you, man. I think that there's enough options out there that make each one of these slightly different. If you're brand loyal, if you've been a Chevrolet guy and you sit in the Toyota, you might go, damn thing is actually really nice. So there might be enough to sway you and deter you from wanting to be with your brand that you normally like. Let's see. Yes, they did have some cooling issues in that video. I do remember that. They were keeping an eye on that. But they also, think about this. They're at altitude. And I'm not pooing on what they do with that test because that's pretty cool. I've watched that since they've been doing it. But they're at altitude as well. So that little engine's working harder and harder than most people would ever use it at. Obviously, there's the Colorado mountainous areas that people are still going to buy those vehicles and they need to know the capability of it. But I think like us flatlanders here on the East Coast, I don't think it would be that much of an issue. Let's see. Mr. says that the ZR2 has a better approach angle. I'm assuming versus Ranger is that seems like about where we're at with this. Andy is still down with the sickness. He's a little disturbed, I think. Let's see what else we got going on here. I got into some of those. Mr. says, I will take a black ZR2. That is a menacing looking truck, man. Let me, I still have it up, I believe. Let's go to, let me pull this up real quick. Pull it in the black. That is the sharp angles of that vehicle, definitely a menacing looking vehicle. The black bumper plays well into there. The little red accents they do. Excuse me. Looks great. The badging back here with just that little red accent. I think you could do some pinstriping or something, some racing stripes where these kickouts are, some red, something like you could make that real menacing. And who's going to be the first to get one of these and put the kit, the Knight Rider light bar in there? That would be hilarious. Oh man. Excuse me. I lose my voice. It's hard to do these. I can't believe years ago I used to do these by myself every week. And for 2 hours at a spot, and now I'm losing my voice. I'm so used to having Kelly or Tim hop in on one of these. Let's see. Dave, Ranger or Raptor, TRD Pro, ZR2, if you had to pick today. Man. If money's no object, I'm probably going to go with the TRD Pro. I like the aggressive looks of that truck. I like the aggressive interior of that truck. Having sat in the Tundra, which is basically a scaled down version of that interior, I like that a lot. Now the seats, I don't know about the seats in that. They seem awful bulky. And I mean, obviously there's a specific use for those seats, but I don't know if the back passenger, how much room they're going to lose, leg room. And then can you imagine being in an accident with that? And it's got those little pistons. Let me see if I can find that real quick, because I want let's see if it's up here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's Miss Kelly Boyd.
I know I got a text message from someone telling me to come rescue you because you're not responding to messages.
Oh,
Scoot.
Oh, sorry. Ow, I just ran my toe over.
For the record, you did that to yourself.
I know. Sorry, I have the camera zoomed in a little bit here. Hold tight. Hold tight. There we go. Hold out a little bit. So these seats, could you imagine being in a collision with your back passengers? Now, they better have their seatbelt on for one, but could you imagine your knees hitting that?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know what's happening.
I like it, but that would be so Bella, that would be the only thing to kind of like make me a little iffy with that would be
It's fine. Sorry.
Hi, Sydney.
Parenting.
Hi.
all right.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got a parent during a live stream. But that would be the only thing about that. Kelly, where would your concern be with? Would you, because the question was asked right now, Raptor, TRD Pro, ZR2. So let's let you glance real quick. So ZR2, Raptor, and Toyota. Let's see, TRD Pro. Which one?
TRD Pro.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And I think we probably lean a little bit the same way after spending time in that Tundra, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like the interior of that truck a lot. The Sequoia was the same way. It's pretty aggressive, but nothing I couldn't daily live with.
No, for me, I know the capabilities of the TRD Pro programming, I guess is the best way to put it.
The
So
pro
that's
programming, that's a
The
mouthful
pro
to say.
programming. So I think that that's part of it for me too, is that I know the capabilities of that truck from a functionable process. So that's why I dig it.
So Andy's texted me and said I need to interact with the chat a little bit better. And
I know that's the text message I got right when I woke up.
Wake Kelly up.
No, I was waking up and then I saw it. He quote, "Come get your man. He's asking questions but not responding or not reading the comment section."
Speaking of your cups in my
Oh, sorry. My water.
Yeah. But yeah, as of right now, that's kind of where I would lean. Let's see. Yes. You're giving up a front locker with the TRD Pro. But if I'm going to look at this, I want the ultimate off-road truck, but I'm going to daily this truck a lot too.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm looking at my answer is based on I already have a Bronco sitting in the driveway, front rear lockers, the Sasquatch package, their ultimate off-road package. So if I knew we're going off-roading to somewhere where we're going to need the ultimate crawl control features, I'm probably grabbing my Bronco and leaving the truck at home, because the trucks do off-road way different. You've had problems.
100%.
When we took the Pro 4X out, you didn't like the longer wheelbase of that vehicle.
Well, and historically, I've not liked the longer wheelbase on trucks in general, because when I tried to wheel your Frontier, I didn't like the longer wheelbase on it. I like to be able to,
right?
Like a 4-door is my magic. Like that's my magic spot. I don't want 2-door, because 2-door you just you don't feel a challenge personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, truck is too long for me.
And Andy says thank you, Kelly. Sorry,
You're welcome.
Andy, I'm out of touch with doing these by myself, so it gets hard to. I'm like going through. You don't always see me. I'm trying to go through a screen over here, pulling up the next thing, and it gets a little tough, buddy.
What he's saying is he needs producer Kelly.
I already mentioned that once. Oh, so producer Kelly is kicking in here. Look at her, grabs the mouse and goes to work. Now I can get back to playing video games.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What's TJ say there?
So TJ Miller says, I thought the Ranger would have a little more room in the back compared to the Bronco back seat. Seems the same or smaller when I sat in it.
Yeah, it definitely feels a little bit smaller. Well, probably if you're comparing that versus a Bronco, though, the Bronco doors have to come off. So they got to make those as light as possible, still have the same function. So they're probably giving up a little bit of to make them a little thinner.
Yeah,
I'm assuming. I don't know that to be honest. J Ray, we talked about that one.
I'm going back up.
Okay.
I would say when you're talking about the back seats for the Taco, though, is that
I'm gonna pull that back up.
I'm hoping the pictures are deceiving from the depth of it, because
so Tim said the back is not done.
Okay.
So maybe that's, obviously we see the seat of that, and I'm sure that's for a photo op. They're trying to show something, but Toyota wouldn't let them talk about the rear of the vehicle because it was not done yet. So maybe it's something they're still trying to work out with that.
Maybe. But to answer your question, yeah, I just don't know about those. But let's be honest, they're not designed. Those seats are not designed to be family friendly necessarily. Like this is a different market.
It's purpose built for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So they are built for a different purpose than mom and dad having the kids in the back seat and their kids kicking the seats. Like that's the thing for me is I look at that and go, what's that? How's the impact of your kids being in the back seat?
Yeah.
But again, that's a different market.
You know what they could do though? And I don't know. I've seen sketches of how they built a seat, but let me see the arrow real quick here. Where it says TRD Pro, you know what would be nice? A small airbag. You have front airbags.
Yeah, but I can see a kid kicking it.
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly the technology makes an airbag work, but I mean, just food for thought that maybe they have something safety wise that I doubt it, honestly, but maybe.
Yeah.
What are the questions or comments? Bring your questions or comments. And like somebody else said, if you would smash that like button for me, I would greatly, greatly appreciate that. And once again, these shows will normally be on Saturday mornings, but you know, if you're just joining in, we've been pushing these around a little bit because of softball.
Yeah.
And today we're going to a Bronco meet a little bit later.
Yeah, we're skipping softball practice today, actually.
Nissan needs to bring the Warrior over from Australia to compete with the other brands. Well, you know, that's not necessarily the FUBAR. If I remember right, that what they call the Warrior over there it's an aftermarket company building that. It's not necessarily Nissan doing that. And I want to say, let me find it real quick.
You're making it difficult to find comments.
I know, but this is part of this comment. So let's see, Nissan Nation podcast. Dang it.
Jay Ray said, I'll pay $60K for a midsize versus an $80K for a full size. I always say be thankful midsize trucks are an option again.
All right. If I can find
I mean, that's looking on the bright side of things, Jay Ray.
There it is. I'm trying to find my own image. So I think I've brought this up before, but this was a spy photo I had from a Nissan dealer event. And they had something in the works, but this was before even they launched the current Frontier. But they had, if they would do, I'm telling you, if Nissan would do this, if they would take that 3.8 they have and put a single turbo on it and kick that from 310 to say 360, you don't have to go full 400 horsepower with Nissan in their ultimate off-road truck. But, you know, you can see it says Nismo on the front and that grill looks great. I like that orange in the grill. The tow hooks look great, but is what it is. I mean, I was told that Nissan, I was told from somebody within Nissan, they wanted to get the basic truck out, then a year or so later launch this truck. So maybe they still have it in the planning stages. And I think Nissan, they have the Halo vehicle in the Nissan Z/GTR. They need a Halo pickup truck, and I think this would do the brand quite well. What do we got there, Kelly?
I don't know what you've already answered, so I'm going to say if you've got questions, go ahead and bring them because, yeah. I mean, I don't know what you've already gone through, and I don't want to be stupid repeating what you've already done.
Oh, man. Let's see.
Did you do this already?
I did thank Steve P. Steve P has been a very huge supporter of the channel. We greatly appreciate him.
Awesome.
As well as Andy and a few others. And our Patreon people have been very nice to us.
Oh,
we're up to 7 Patreon people.
Mr. says, I'll take a black ZR2.
Yeah, I know. I talked about that, and it's so menacing. Just such a menacing looking truck. We've had a row of black vehicles, though, so I don't know that black would be on our... Because when you take black vehicle off-road, every leaf that you go through that touches the vehicle just pinstripes the thing.
I got a parent. Hold on.
Oh, all right. Kelly's parenting. Let's see.
Go.
All right. At Fairway Ford in Kingsport yesterday, a transport truck dropped off the Ranger XLT Sports Package, the extra cab truck. There is barely any room in the back seat cab area. I was looking for the longer 6-foot bed. Let's see. Go, Brooks. Go. Sorry. Dog. Cats over here, dogs, now kids. All right. Let's see. Saw a video that says the TRD Pro is only 3 inches wider due to the fenders and wheel offsets. Control arms are the same on all models. So TRD Pro, they have their own upper control arms. They've always used on the TRD Pro stuff. It's an aluminum billet, if I remember right. They're usually red, but I wouldn't surprise me. Those fenders definitely, you can tell the plastic of those fenders stick out quite a bit. And yeah, wheel offset would make it look a little bit more aggressive. And that's a pretty cheap way of doing that if you think about it. But you still get the benefits of the wider track of that.
Okay.
Oh. Kelly, so with, obviously we've ordered a Ranger Raptor.
Yep.
We did that with Brighton Ford. They're in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing is, we're in Tennessee, but
yeah.
but I found that some of the dealerships up there for the big three they were more willing to work with you than you get down here away from. We're in Nissan country. I hate to say it. We see a lot of Nissan floating around here because of the.
And
plant.
honestly, we don't have a great Nissan dealership in Murfreesboro.
Yeah, which is strange. But do you regret us maybe not going after maybe a ZR2 a little earlier, or because we're not brand loyal, but we seem to have a string of Fords.
Yeah.
Because somebody had brought up that you sat in the AT4 in Chicago Auto Show. Did you feel like is too small? The seating was too small?
I'm trying to remember.
I know it's a tough one. It's a tough one. The AT4 we sat in. Honestly, it should be the same as the Z71 and everything we sat in.
I don't remember it being small. Maybe I said that in the video, but I don't remember off the top of my head of it being small. I liked the interior of the AT4.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked about that.
That's been a big thing in this. They've all talked about they kind of like that a little bit better than.
Yeah, I liked the interior of the AT4 better. Yeah, here's the challenge I run into is that I get used to like placement of things in a vehicle. And I will say that is a brand thing that happens, is that brands do typically, they're pretty consistent in where they put things in different models of vehicles. So I did appreciate that I knew where everything was in the Ranger when we saw that. But I did like the placement of the GM in general across the board too.
Yeah. I wish that the Ranger had a little bit. I've said it earlier. I wish they had a little bit more exciting colors. This is from TJ Miller. It's in our Discord. If you guys ever want to chat in the Discord, we can throw the link up there for that. I do feel like maybe it's these sand rails that are on here. Something about it just makes it not look as aggressive as the other trucks do.
Yeah.
These are I will say they're heavy steel. So these were definitely oh, there's the wheels he just got for his wife's thing. Dang it.
And you closed it.
Where'd my Discord go? Let me do this. I'm screwing up everything over here. But maybe it's those rails though that doesn't make it.
Give it to me. I do this on the daily.
Do you? That's not it.
Give me a second.
Because
continue to talk.
I closed it.
You didn't though. It was still sharing. So you got it somewhere.
It doesn't run in that.
Okay.
Day in the life here. All right, so we'll go back over here.
It was still showing on your screen.
I know. There we go.
So you still had it somewhere.
I do feel like this, but I think Ford's always been a little more conservative because they're always been the top dog with F150.
Yeah.
So they might, and this looks like a smaller F150. I'm not gonna lie, it definitely, if TJ would have had a side by side profile of this and the Raptor R over there, I think you'd see a lot of similarities to the vehicle. But I mean, I don't know. I like all the. I hate to say this, and this sounds like a cop out, but I think every one of these trucks, minus Nissan, have something very unique and all their own that would make me like them.
Maybe. I would agree. There's different. If you could take them all and put them together, like it would be a different story.
Let me pull this out real quick. Yes. Let's pull this out there. Dang it! I did it again. Oh, not that button.
Yeah, don't shut down.
Damn it! Not that button either. Man,
Wow, you're terrible
well. I'm not.
today.
The new studio kind of setup is kind of throwing me a little bit.
He doesn't have a third monitor over here. He still has the third one over there.
Yeah, I've got an editing bay over there now. So, all right. Oh, there it was, Gavin. TJ saw our buddies over at Bronco Wild Outdoor. There's Mr. No, that's not Gavin. That's not Gavin. That must be TJ's child. But there is
I was gonna say that is not Gavin.
I was quickly screwing up.
You think the white one?
There we go. So this is the one you were talking about. The seats did not feel as it felt a little small, I guess.
Mm.
Man,
the tires are definitely a little small. Like, we know that from having seen it.
Well,
like,
so this is a wide angle shot, and I think look at how it's made the tire look like it's crammed into the front.
Yeah,
because it's rounding it, I think, a little bit.
But even so, the tires are smaller. Yeah. We've talked about that, like a 33-inch tire under it, which we expected a 35 under it.
I am curious though. Did they? Okay, so they have the ARB bumpers and stuff. So these right now, this is all done in Australia. You can get all this stuff from for your Australian versions. So I'm glad to see that they're bringing that to the United States. I'm not a big fan of the lights though. I don't want these big round lights. For a bumper, I'm simple. I just need protection up front, a little bit further out, so in case I run into something, it scrapes there, and a winch. That's why I like our lifestyle off-road bumper that we have on our Bronco. It just does what it does. It's pretty honest.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
They've been quiet since you started talking.
I know. Great. Let's see. Greg says control arms aren't the same, but they don't add any suspension travel like the others. So that would be for the Toyota TRD Pro. We got time for a couple more questions. So if you guys have anything, like I said, hopefully Estrethal will be back next week. Wait, something's going on next week. I don't know. I've checked my calendar. I feel like
maybe a tournament next week. I think that's what you're thinking.
Yeah, I think maybe that's what it is. Whew. Anyways, scattered.
And then the following weekend,
we're supposed to be in Michigan coming up, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a bummer because there was some Midsize talk that we were gonna have some fun with. So you guys would have really liked that. And sadly, unless we pray for a rain. If you're if you're a person of God, pray that we get some rain next week so it pushes our tournament back a week.
Tennessee rain.
Yes, Tennessee rain.
Murfreesboro, Tennessee rain. Let's be very specific.
Or just throw our address in there too.
No, I was just saying Murfreesboro, Tennessee. People know we're from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Jeez.
And by the way, guys, if you go to the comment section of these videos, you ever want to send some snail mail, the address is down there to our P.O. Box.
P.O. Box 356, Rockvale, Tennessee, 37153.
Or
how I had that, I don't know. It's fine.
I have days I don't even remember our address here.
Man. And you wonder why I keep this house or how I keep this house afloat.
Yeah. Let's see.
Thanks, Steve P, for joining. Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Steve P from Phoenix, Arizona.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Greatly appreciate all what you've done for us. As long with Andy as well. Andy's been a big supporter of the channel, so we have to say thank you to Andy. Which we got to talk to Andy. We're supposed to do a trip with Andy, and something might come up, Andy.
But there's plenty of notice to let you know.
Between that and your schedule, this trip's been a nightmare to plan.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see.
Uneasy Rider said have to wait for first year bugs to be sorted out, but Taco would be my choice as well.
Oh yeah. Let's see here. I'm hoping this link works. I never do this right.
Nope, he sure doesn't.
But this should be to our Discord, I think. Or
click the invite people. There you go. There's your comment.
Here's a basic link. All right, Kelly fixed it. There you go.
Here's what I do.
If you want to join the server right now, it's been a little quiet here lately. It seems to in the fall.
I'm in there, but I completely forget about it. To be honest with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got a bunch of people in there that have fun. So Looks like that's the show. You guys haven't had too many comments. Those are our top picks for the off-road packages, the best off-road packages. Right now, if I'm gonna go, I'm going Nissan at the bottom. I'm probably gonna go Jeep Gladiator next. Chevrolet, then AT4, GMC, then Ranger Raptor, and then probably TRD Pro right now would be my picks of where we would be at. What would be your top three?
Mine's pretty much the same as yours, except for I'd flip probably Jeep Gladiator and the Nissan.
Man, give Nissan a little love, huh?
Well, just because I mean we've had a Gladiator and I just don't.
She doesn't like it.
The comfort in it.
Yeah.
Like for me, like I'm gonna totally pull comfort over capability when it comes to that. Like when they're that close in capability, I'm gonna choose. No, not at all.
I wouldn't just send it like that.
No.
Oh, anyway. So all right, guys. So whether it be 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. Oh, sorry. You can do it.
No, I was taking a drink when you did it. So try it again.
Oh man. So whether it be 2-wheel drive,
4-wheel drive.
it only matters what you drive if we're talking mid-size trucks, right?
Today.
And we are out. Peace, everybody. Love y'all.
See ya.